Mommy, your hair, it's moving. Snake! Uju was the perfect wife and mother. She and her husband Nonso were not just husband and wife, they were best of friends. From university days, they had built their life together with love, laughter, and prayers. People admired their bond. They hardly ever quarreled. And even when they did, they forgave quickly. Every anniversary, Nonso would write a love letter and cook for her. Yes, even if he burnt the rice. Uju loved her three children like her heart beats. She would wake before sunrise just to pack their school lunch herself, even though she had a maid. And also, she always said, I don't care if I become a CEO tomorrow. I will still cook for my husband. That's my joy. Her food was legendary egusi soup and pounded yam. On Sunday afternoons, jollof rice that made her neighbors peep over the fence. Her children loved watching her sing while stirring soup. It was a peaceful home. Every single day, no matter how tired or busy Uju was, she would call her mother. Sometimes just to say, Mommy, I just wanted to hear your voice. Her mother would laugh and reply, You too like phone. Nonso is lucky. I pray this peace never leaves your home. But then, Uju saw the wig. It was a busy Saturday at the market. She and her friend Amaka were just window shopping after buying tomatoes when they stumbled on a small wig store, one they had never noticed before. There it was, on a black mannequin head. Black, long, curly, like waves of water. It shimmered without light, cold without sound. It looked expensive, powerful. Uju's breath caught in her chest. Amaka, look at that wig, she whispered. Ha, that wig is not for ordinary people. See the way it's shining, Amaka said. It's like it's breathing. Uju asked the shop attendant, an old woman whose eyes was glowing like an amber. How much, ma? Uju asked. For you, it is not about money. Just try it on, the old woman said. Uju hesitated, but something pulled her. She wore the wig, and the world changed. People turned to stare. Amaka gasped. A lady passing by whispered, Who is she? People in the market stopped and said. Even the yam seller dropped his tray. Amaka whispered, Uju, you look like a goddess. And Uju smiled. She felt powerful, beautiful, like a queen. How much? Uju asked again. The old woman behind the store smiled strangely. For you, just 10,000. Amaka frowned. 10,000? That's too cheap. It might be fake, Uju. But Uju had already taken out her purse. Something about the wig pulled her in, like it wanted her. That evening, when Uju got home, she couldn't stop looking at herself in the mirror. She ignored the food she was cooking, which was burning on the fire. Nonso had to feed the kids himself. Uju, he said gently, You have been in the mirror for 2 hours. Come and eat with us. She waved him off. I am not hungry. Poor Nonso. If only he had known what visited his home. From that night onwards, for Uju, it's all about the wig. The Uju everyone knew began to fade. She wore the wig to sleep, to cook. She wore the wig to church. She wouldn't let anyone touch it, not even her kids. Uju's mother came to visit. My daughter, she said, you haven't called me in weeks. What is happening? Uju just smiled, brushing the wig with a golden comb she just bought the other day. You don't understand, Mama. This wig, it changed my life. I feel alive. Her mother looked into her eyes and froze. Uju, she whispered, your eyes, they are darker. Uju stopped giving every other thing's attention. She even stopped visiting her salon. One day, Amaka, her friend, visited. Uju, she said, this is not you. You don't answer calls. You miss work. Your house smells of dust. You are losing yourself. But Uju just stood in front of the mirror, stroking the wig. You all just wanted what I have. My wig. I'm not letting you take it away from me. Amaka just walked away, heartbroken. That night, Amaka had a dream. She saw Uju. Both of them were at the wig shop at the market. Next thing she saw, Uju lying in a dark field, her wig turning into a snake that wrapped around her neck. The snake whispering, she is mine. Amaka jumped up from the bed, sweat all over her body. She tried calling Uju, but she didn't pick her calls. The next day, Uju went to work. She walked into her salon, wearing the wig. Everyone gasped. Kemi, her attendant, whispered. She looked like Beyonce. Everyone couldn't stop staring. You never looked this beautiful, Uju. Where did you get this wig from? An old woman running a wig store at the market, Uju said proudly. She said it was made just for me. Suddenly, the women in the office began to envy her. Compliments came with side eyes. Even Madam Ifoma asked if she could try it on. But Uju refused. It only fits me, she said. Weeks later, Uju and Nonso were invited in a high-end party filled with celebrities, influencers, and socialites. Uju wore a red dress that hugged her body perfectly, and of course, the black wig. When she entered the party, everything stopped. Women turned green with envy. One fashion blogger whispered, that woman, she's glowing. At the party, a few ladies asked to touch the wig, but Uju said no. But one of them, Tina, a fashion influencer, secretly brushed her finger against the wig when Uju was having a conversation with a friend and wasn't looking. The next morning, Tina was found with no single hair on her head. All her hair gone. Her followers watched in shock as she posted a crying video. My hair is gone. Something ate it in my sleep. She was so bitter and crying so painfully. Lots of consoling messages were sent to her. But lastly, her hair was truly gone forever. One afternoon in the kitchen, Zina, the youngest of the three children, walked into the kitchen where her mother was preparing lunch. Suddenly, she froze. Mommy, your hair, it's moving. Snake! Nonso rushed into the kitchen, grabbing the little girl into his arm. What's going on? Nonso asked. It's mommy. Her hair, Zina cried. It was wrapping around her neck and shoulder like a snake. Uju turned to them slowly, a pot of soup still steaming beside her on the cooker. She threw her head back and laughed, her voice echoing through the kitchen. Oh, please, Zina, she said. You have been watching too many cartoons. But Nonso didn't laugh. His eyes were fixed on the long black coiled wig draped around her shoulders. They looked thicker, heavier, alive. Darling, he said gently, maybe you should cover your hair, just for today. You are scaring the kids. Uju narrowed her eyes. You can't be serious, she snapped. Because of a child's babbling, you want me to hide my beautiful hair? The hair that gives me confidence, that makes me feel like a queen. Nonso's heart sank. Uju, he said, it's not just about beauty anymore. But she turned her back to him and continued stirring her soup, humming to herself as if nothing had happened. Zina clung to her father, trembling. From that day, everything changed for the children. They started waking up in the middle of the night, screaming. There is a woman under the bed, Zina cried one night, holding her brothers tightly. A woman with long hair and blood in her eyes, the boys added. They began drawing strange pictures. All of them shows the same thing. A tall, thin woman with long black hair, crouching under their parents' bed. Red tears dropping down her face. Uju never noticed. She spent hours in front of her mirror, brushing the wig, singing softly to herself. Sometimes she didn't even hear the children call her. Uju, Nonso said one evening, holding one of the drawings. Look at what the kids are drawing. They are scared. We need to talk about this. Uju glanced at the picture and scoffed. Children play all the time. Why are you overreacting? It's not just drawing, Nonso said. Zina talks in a strange voice sometimes, like someone else is using her mouth. The boys say they hear whisperings in the walls. Uju just kept brushing her wig. That's not my problem, she said. Maybe if you were a stronger father, they wouldn't be so scared. Nonso's face fell. That night, he moved to sleep in the guest room with the children. None of them wanted to enter the master's bedroom anymore. Daddy, Zina whispered as he tucked them into the bed. The old woman, she's under your bed. She watches mommy while she sleeps. Nonso closed his eyes. He didn't want to believe it. But deep down, he knew something was terribly wrong. One evening, Nonso came back home from work, exhausted and hopeful for a quiet evening with his family. But as soon as he opened the door, his heart dropped. The house was still in the same mess it had been that morning. Crumbs on the floor, unwashed dishes, scattered clothes. The air was musty, as though no one has opened the window all day. Uju, he called, walked into the bedroom and froze. Uju was still sitting in front of the mirror, still wearing the same long coiled black wig. She was brushing it slowly. Her eyes locked on her reflection, a small smile on her lips. Uju, he said again, more firmly, the kids, are they back? Still nothing came out from Uju's lips. Nonso's heart pounded. He rushed out of the house, jumped into his car, and sped off to the kids' school. When he got there, his heart broke. His 3 children were standing by the school gate, crying. Their teacher stood nearby, arms folded tightly across her chest, her face flushed with anger. Mr. Nonso, she barked. It's past 6:30. We have been trying to reach your wife, but her number isn't going through. I'm sorry. I am so sorry, he said quickly, kneeling to gather his kids in his arm. I didn't know. Please forgive us. The teacher shook her head. These children were the last in school. They haven't eaten anything. He apologized again, guilt eating him alive. When When they got home, he opened the door for his children. They walked straight to the bedroom. Uju hadn't moved. She was still at the mirror, brushing the wig with her golden comb. Uju, he called. She turned slowly, her eyes blank. This is serious, Nonso muttered under his breath. You are not the woman I married. Tears welled up in his eyes. You don't care about me or the children. This sin is ruining you. She looked at him, her face cold. If you don't like me the way I am, she said quietly, then leave. The word hit Nonso like thunder. His heart cracked. He stood there, silent, broken. After a long pause, he wiped his face, turned away, and went into the bedroom to freshen up. Then, without a word, he entered the kitchen and began to make dinner for his children. His hands trembled, but he kept going because someone had to do it. After serving the meal to the children and watching them eat in silence, Nonso couldn't hold it anymore. His heart was heavy, his chest tight with pain. Without a word, he stepped outside. The night air was cold, but he welcomed it. He began to run down the street, past the sleeping houses, hoping the motion would shake off the sorrow pressing down on him. But the weight followed him with every step and every breath. He could still hear Uju's scream echoing in his ear. Dark, mysterious, nothing like the woman he married. He stopped at a roadside gutter and collapsed to his knees, breathing hard, tears burning his eyes. God, what is happening to my wife? What is that thing on her head? Then came a voice. You have seen it through face. Nonso turned sharply. Standing beside him was a man holding a Bible in his hands. His eyes glowed faintly in the dark. Not with menace, but with deep knowledge. Nonso stood up quickly, wiping his face. Who are you? My name is Pastor Ifeanyi. The man said gently. I have been waiting for you. Waiting? Nonso frowned. I don't know you. You don't, but heaven does, Pastor Ifeanyi replied. And they sent me because your wife is not the first to wear that cursed crown. Nonso's heart stopped. Crown? That wig, the pastor said, pointing. It is no beauty. It is a throne, and something sits on it. Nonso swallowed hard. So, what do I do? You must return home, but not alone. The pastor handed Nonso a small bottle of oil and a strip of white cloth. Anoint your dolls and your children, and do not sleep tonight. At midnight, pray with the name of your wife. Call her soul back. She is still inside. Nonso gripped the oil. I will be coming to your house at dawn tomorrow. Though this is your battle, but I will pray, and heaven will stand with you. As the pastor turned to leave, he added, one more thing. When you see her, do not call her Uju. Speak only to her spirit. Remind her who she was and who she loves. The following day at dawn, Pastor Ifeanyi stepped into Nonso's house with quiet authority. The moment he crossed the threshold, the light flickered violently. The mirror in Uju's room shook as if something inside it wanted to escape. Take the children outside, he said firmly to Nonso. Now. Nonso didn't argue. He scoped his trembling kids and hurried out. Uju's mother, who had been praying in her room, followed behind him, her heart pounding. Inside the bedroom, Pastor Ifeanyi stood before Uju, still consumed by the wig's power. Her hair was floating now like dark smoke, wrapping around her body, protecting her like an armor. I know who you are, the pastor said, voice steady. You are not Uju. Uju's lip curled into a strange laugh.
You are too late, Pastor. You are too late. She's mine now. She gave me. She admired me. She chose me. You, I know you. You deceived her.
He pulled out a small bottle of anointing oil and began to pray in tongues. The power of his voice filling the room like thunder. Uju shrieked, a shriek so loud that walls trembled. The mirror cracked again, and from it, the shadow of an old woman began to crawl out, half rotted, with a long gray hair and sunken eyes. She laughed coldly. This is my body now. I gave her beauty. I gave her pride. And she gave me a doorway. But Prophet Ifeanyi did not flinch. He poured the oil into his hand and threw it at the mirror. The glass exploded. The room went dark. Then a blinding light filled the space. The wick caught fire, burning with a clean flame. Uju screamed and dropped to the ground, convulsing. The old woman hurled her voice stretching into 1,000 pounds before vanishing into smoke. Then silence. Uju lay on the floor unconscious, her natural hair visible. The wig was gone. Pastor Ifeanyi knelt beside her, praying softly. Moments later, she opened her eyes. They were clear. Tears fell freely. Where am I? The morning sun poured into the room like a gentle balm. Birds chirped outside, and for the first time in weeks, peace settled in the house. Uju sat up slowly, her hands trembling. Her mother rushed to her side and held her tightly. Mama, Uju whispered, voice breaking. What have I done? You are home now, my daughter, her mother said softly. That's what matters now. Nonso stood by the door, holding the children. Their faces were pale, unsure. Uju's eyes met theirs.
I am sorry, she whispered.
The children ran to her, hugging her tightly. Nonso joined them in tears. I missed you, he said, his voice shocked. I missed you too, she replied, breaking into sobs. I forgot who I was. I hurt all of you. Prophet Ifeanyi stood in the corner, watching quietly. She was a spirit from long ago, he said, banished by her people for trading lives for beauty. She hides in things women admired. Jewelries, mirrors, and now wigs. Uju looked at him, ashamed. How? How did it happen? You admired the wig too much, he answered. Desire opened doors. Pride pulled you through it. But repentance has brought you back. Will she come again? Nonso asked. The prophet walked to the spot where the mirror once hung and drew a small cross on the wall with oil. No, not here, not again. But be watchful. Evil always returns through the doors of vanity. He turned to leave, then paused. Guard your home, woman, he said to Uju, with prayers, love, and humility. That night, Uju cooked again her famous egusi soup. She laughed for the first time in weeks, holding her daughter while the boys told funny stories. She called her friend Amaka and apologized. She calls her mother every day now, twice a day. And when she looked into the mirror, she no longer saw beauty in the hair she wore. She saw it in the family that had fought for her and never gave up. Beauty should never cost you your soul. Uju's story is a painful reminder that when we let desire blind us, we can lose the very thing that makes life worth living: our family, our peace, and ourselves. No wig, no dress, no admiration is worth the laughter of your children, the warmth of your home, or the love in your partner's eyes. In pursuit of being seen, don't forget to stay whole.